It seems that the London Met Police aren't content with spying on a mere 57,000 people a year. It has emerged this week that they consider buying access to innocent citizens' private data, including their gender, their age, their postcodes, who they made phone calls to and when, and even details of their web and app usage. The Sunday Times claims that a market research company, Ipsos Mori, in conjunction with EE, the UK's largest mobile phone operator, placed shoppers on Oxford Street under covert surveillance. The Sunday Times reports, as shoppers emerged into daylight, they pulled out their smartphones. The websites they visited were being monitored en masse. The surveillance was part of a trial by Ipsos Mori to snoop on the habits of millions of EE phone customers. They could monitor how many of the phone users checked their Facebook account or the website of their favourite shop. Ipsos Mori was delighted with the results. In a deal with EE, which formed in 2010 from a merger between Orange and T-Mobile, the polling firm Ipsos Mori had purchased the exclusive use of the phone data, and the test run in central London has shown its potential. The report also claims that Ipsos Mori attempted to sell citizens' personal data to the Met Police. Ipsos Mori also allegedly ran another location tracking trial last summer on Olympic visitors and shoppers, with a document claiming we can understand not only where people are going, but what they have been doing before, during and after they visit these various locations. The company, of course, defended their intention to sell personal data. In a statement, they said, in response to the article published today by the Sunday Times, Ipsos Mori absolutely refutes the suggestion that it is offering access to individual personal data for sale. However, according to PC Pro, in Ipsos Mori's latest round of results, it claimed to have the ability to access EE's entire database and thus to analyse the behaviour of groups of people in real time. Also, T-Mobile, which merged with Orange to form EE, has previously admitted to selling data to other companies. In other news, in the United States, a Freedom of Information Act request by the Civil Liberties Union has revealed that the FBI has been reading private emails without warrant using a law from the 1980s. The ACLU have said new documents from the FBI and US Attorney's Office paint a troubling picture of the government's email surveillance practices. Not only does the FBI claim it can read emails and other electronic communications without a warrant, even after a federal appeals court ruled that doing so violates the Fourth Amendment, but the document strongly suggests that different US attorneys' offices around the country are applying conflicting standards to access communications content. The FBI provided the ACLU with excerpts from two versions of its Domestic Investigations and Operations Guide from 2008 and 2012. One of the guides is from before Rorschach was decided and the other is from after, but they say the same thing. FBI agents only need a warrant for emails or other electronic communications that are unopened and less than 180 days old. The 2012 guide contains no mention of Rorschach and no suggestion that the Fourth Amendment might require a warrant for all emails. In fact, the 2012 guide states, in enacting the Electronic Communications Privacy Act of 1986, Congress concluded that customers may not retain reasonable expectation of privacy in information sent to network providers if the content of an unopened message are kept beyond 6 months or stored on behalf of the customers after the email has been received or opened. It should be treated the same as a business record in the hands of a third party, such as an accountant or attorney. In that case, the government may subpoena the records from the third party without running afoul of either the Fourth or Fifth Amendment. The Think Progress website reports the law governing access to email and cloud stored data was passed at a time when the cost of online storage was so high it seemed unthinkable that anyone would store data there indefinitely. So anything left on network storage for longer than 180 days was considered abandoned and required only an administrative subpoena to access. But in the time since it became law, the price of online storage went down and many people started to rely on free cloud-based email solutions like Gmail or Yahoo. There have been numerous efforts to update the ECPA to be more in line with current consumer behaviour and the Fourth Amendment, but none, as of yet, have succeeded. The most recent attempt to update the law to clearly require a probable cause warrant hit a major milestone in April when a standalone fix was approved by the Senate. Rep. Matt Salmon introduced a companion bill to the House, although a similar proposal had already been introduced earlier this year. Again, these revelations demonstrate just how little respect the authorities have for our privacy and our personal information, and it will go to extreme lengths to obtain our data without cause or provocation. Well, I'm almost out of time for today, and now for something a little bit different, here's some truth poetry. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm Mick Meaney, signing off for Info Alternative News.
I know, I don't know a lot about politics, I know. But what I do know is I'll let you know, and I know that you probably already know what I know, but I'm just letting you know what I know, because I know. There's a Westminster, I know there's a Downing Street, I know there's an office, I know there's a cabinet, but hey, I've got a cabinet in my front room, big deal. I know we've got something in common, because they've got the House of Commons, and I've got a house, and that's really quite common. But I know that's about as far as it goes, because I know we're from a completely different ilk. I mean, they've even taken Robert Kilroy's silk. I know there's a guy called Dave, and I know that Dave's got a pet poodle called Nick. I know there's a backbench, I know there's a Chancellor of the Exchequer, I know there was a saucy Edwina Curry home wrecker. I know there's a paxman, I know there's bankers, and I like to call those bankers something that rhymes with bankers, but it's not bankers, and it's not fuel disputing tankers, but it's all about the bankers. Alright, fat greedy. I know there's a question time, I know there's a big question, they argue about things like traffic congestion, of which there's a controversial charge. I know there's a character called Boris at large. The exchange between he and a guy called Ken can get quite fruity, quite fiery, with stern looks. I know there's a call of Brooks and Levison inquiry. I know they're gonna put tax on a good old Cornish pasty. Really? Well, that's just nasty. I know there's a finance minister who appears to be rather sinister. I know there's chauffeur-driven cars. I know there's expensive shirts and ties and abundance of lies. We need answers, not underhand tactics and private dancers. I know there was a hung parliament, but saddened when I realised it wasn't literal. And I hope that they were hung upside down so we could shake them all around, and their purses, their wallets, their spare change will fall to the ground. That way we might just get some of our money back. I know they're pumping more and more into unnecessary war, excessively disused property, and not enough to combat poverty. I know when the shit hits the fan, we'll be left to carry the shaken can to clean up the mess, but it's alright as long as we conform and just say yes. I know that the justice system is all messed up, ridiculous decisions, and who can do more? The politicians, but they don't, because when a police officer at the G20 summit pushes an innocent man to the ground, moments later that man died. Murder, surely, at the very least manslaughter, but hey, they say wrong time, wrong place. Either way, it's a f***ing disgrace as he walks from court a free man, and you know as the day is long, it is so wrong. But when a single mum steals bread from the shop to feed the starving mouths of her children, she'll get punished. I mean, where is the justice? When the next generation stab and gun each other down, left to rot to drown in the pool of their own blood to die. Guess who turns a blind eye? And I know I don't know a lot about politics, I know, and I know that you probably already know what I know, but I'm just letting you know what I know. And I think I know what is wrong, and I think I know what is right, and I think I know that they need to open their eyes and see what is going on, have a look around and listen to us, the people. And I will shout it because I think that they, the politicians, can do something about it. But hey, speaking as one of the people, what do I know? Thank you.